Hello, this is Faith at Faith&books. Happy St. Andrew's Day. It's November 30th. It's the Feast of St. Andrews. He's the patron saint of Scotland, and he's also the patron saint of the Patriarch of Constantinople. And apparently, the Holy See always sends a delegation to Istanbul every St. Andrew's Day to help them celebrate. It's sort of a ecumenical sort of move to try to bring unity, I guess. Anyway, it's the Catholic New Year's Eve because tomorrow starts the new liturgical year, Advent, which is always exciting. So anyway, we're having a very quiet weekend. We had a beautiful Thanksgiving. We had 18 people. My son and his daughter came down from Boston. Right now they're driving back. And it was wonderful to see them. And my father-in-law, who had just spent 6 weeks, 2 weeks in the hospital and 4 weeks in a rehabilitative center, was finally out. And he was looking great. He's 88 and he was looking great. So there was a lot to be thankful for this year. And I always do an oven roasted turkey because I like in-bird stuffing, and then my husband always does another turkey where he grills it with hickory chips outside, and it's so delicious. His turkey is really good. I like my turkey too. I like the traditional turkey. I like Thanksgiving. And I made the best cranberry sauce this year. I forgot to get orange juice. I didn't even have anything for orange zest, so I just used apple cider that I happen to have. It came out so delicious. I'm never going back to the old way of making cranberry sauce. It was really good. So anyway, so we had fun. It was a really nice day. Yesterday was just, we were all comatose, basically. Today we're perking up a little bit. Anyway, I just thought I would give an end of November update because I'm not going to quite finish my last nonfiction book, which is on the Kindle, which needs charging, so it's sitting over there. But A Generation of Sociopaths, about the baby boomers book, that book is slow going. I'm only at 40%. And even though I looked and the end notes start at 74%, it's really slow going because it's all about national debt. And, I don't understand finance. It's nice that my husband's home for this long weekend because he was a double major in business and finance and economics, so he really understands everything. And he agrees with the guy on his take on how the baby boomers just don't save and let the debt get out of control, and how this is a really insecure situation because right now interest rates are low, but they're kind of artificially low, and that could change. And if it changes, we're in big trouble. And I don't really understand the technicalities. It's a lot to do with bond markets and stuff like that. I don't know. But anyway, he does, so I get to stop and chat with him about it, although I think I'm starting to annoy him. And he really doesn't like the guy's attitude, frankly. He finds his constant assertion that the baby boomers are sociopaths kind of annoying. But anyway, I'll review that book later when I get done with it. But it's slow going because it's about stuff that I'm not versed in. I don't really understand. So, but I do have some other things going on. So let's see what else is going on. I read the introduction, Raymond E. Brown's An Adult Christ at Christmas, which is this Advent guide. It's wonderful, really. It's brief, but it's just got a lot of impact. It's so profound. And the way he's talking about how the Bible, what's the word I want to say? The nativity, what do they call it? The nativity passages came about, and how the Gospels were written down and that sort of thing. So I found it very interesting, and I'm glad that I got that started. And then, let's see. Oh, and I made this additional pledge in Advent that I'm going to try to read the Gospel of Luke every day. The 24 chapters, so you can get through it, I think, Christmas Eve. Except I'm going to try and read some of it in Latin. This is the Latin Vulgate with the English translation. So on one side it's in Latin, and the other side it's in English. So I might try to read some of the Latin, and then just finish up with the English. But I think that little bit of exposure to Latin every day is going to be really helpful to me. So I've decided I'm going to try and do that. Let's see, and then I couldn't help myself. I was so eager to read Isaac Bashevis Singer's A Day of Pleasure, reread it. I read it years ago, that I started on that. And I kind of went with Nonfiction November because the first part of the book, it's not quite half, but the first third of the book maybe is memoirs of growing up in the Jewish ghetto in Warsaw. And this is just before the World War One. So that was nonfiction. And then the second part of the book is all the fairy tales that he wrote for children, or children's kind of folk tales too. So anyway, he did win the Nobel Literature Prize in 1978, I think. Gorgeous writing, just beautiful, so compelling. You feel like you're a little, 9-year-old boy when you're reading this. I mean, you're just so much in that time and place. He writes very clearly and directly and very movingly, and it's just wonderful. I'm really, really enjoying this. And I have a little bit of a book haul because I ordered 2 books used. The first one is The Favorite Tales of Shalom, Aleichem, which apparently Isaac Bashevis Singer mentions him reading his stories. They both wrote in Yiddish. And I was delighted. I opened it up, and the first paragraph says, "Years ago when Shalom Aleichem came to New York, Mark Twain was among the first to visit him. I wanted to meet you," he said, "because I understand that I am the American Shalom Aleichem." So that's pretty neat. I didn't know that at all. So I'm looking forward to reading those maybe after I finish Isaac Bashevis Singer's tales. And then I got another book used because I really I'm trying to be more zero waste. And one of the things I do is I buy bread, and it always comes in these plastic bags. And it's hard to buy gluten-free bread that isn't frozen or in plastic. So I got this. I heard good things about this book, Gluten-Free Artisan Bread in 5 Minutes a Day. So I'm going to try to experiment with this. So you have to buy all these different gluten-free flours and then make up a mixture. And then I think I need to experiment a bit. But I'm hoping, because this would be really cool to have some bread. I miss bread. The stuff you get at the store is dreadful, and I just basically don't eat bread anymore. And so I thought that would be nice to do, so I'm going to experiment with that. So I think that's it. I'll do a later wrap-up, which will be, because I did finish 4 Loves, and I have a lot of thoughts on that. And then I'll also review the other book about the baby boomers. I'll do that later this week, I think. And then... Wait, I have one other thought. Oh, yeah, and I also read this month, early in the month, I read Eden's Outcasts, which somehow I didn't pick up on the fact that you were supposed to, or the 2 ladies hosting A Year with Louisa May, which is Kate Howe and Megan, I can't remember her last name, but I'll link it. And you're supposed to put your reviews out on the 29th, or maybe they just do that. I don't know. I've never done this before. But so I read it earlier, and I'm not going to, earlier in this month, and I'm not going to be able to put up a review about Little Women either, because I'm planning to read that after Christmas. And apparently they're putting it up on the 29th because was that Louisa May's birthday? There's some reason why they're doing it on the 29th of each month. I think that was it. I can't remember, and that was a significant thing in the book. So, because Bronson Alcott and Louisa May shared a birthday. Anyway, but what I was going to say is that my daughter-in-law is expecting in April, right around my 60th birthday. and I wanted to do something special for my 60th birthday. So what we might do is go up to Boston to meet our new granddaughter, and then we'll go see Lexington and Concord, because I want to see the Orchard House where the Alcotts lived, and I also love Nathaniel Hawthorne, so I'd like to see his house. We've been up to Boston several times, but we've never gone to Lexington and Concord. So when we go up this time to meet our new granddaughter, God willing, we're going to plan a trip to Lexington and Concord too. My husband's mostly interested in the American history aspect of it, whereas I'm more into the literary. But that's okay. I think it would be a fun trip. Okay, so I got excited because when things converge and they all make sense. Here I am reading about Louisa May. Turns out that just around my 60th birthday, I'll be going up to Boston. So I love it when things like that happen. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say, and I will check in with you later this week to give my reviews of the Four Loves. I sort of gave a half of a review earlier, and then the Baby Boomer book. So what's it called? A Generation of Sociopaths. It still cracks me up. The guy's really irritating, though, but he's a good writer, and he does crack me up. He's got some very snarky one-liners. Anyway, take care, and I'll be talking to you later. Bye.